Morning, you join this commuter train out of Swanley and you're driving via Catford to Victoria. But passengers here first, prepare the train for departure and press F1 for your briefing. So insert the Ramsgate with Shift and W.
TPWS and AWS operational.
We set the AWS self-test and the train fault alarm with F. Dairy off, signal up ahead is clear.
Driver, you have reset the DRA. Please check the signal.
And T on all of the doors. Go outside. Our headlights are already set. So we're in 700 R25 and we're going to London Victoria. So departing Swanley, speed limit is going up to 90 miles an hour. Next stop is St Mary Cray in 2.5 miles. So this scenario is called 9 Yankee 96 758 Seven Oaks to Victoria. You join the Thameslink 700 at Swanley and you're finishing the Sunday only service to Victoria via Catford. So calling all stations all stations to Catford and maximum speed at 100. So calling at Swanley, St Mary Cray, Bickley, Bromley South, Shortlands, Ravensbourne, Beckenham Hill, Bellingham, Catford, Coffin Park, Nunhead, Peckham Rye, Denmark Hill, and finally London Victoria. So if you're wondering what RLU is, it stands for Reduced Length Unit. Basically with the 700s you have RLU and FLU. So FLU is full length unit, which is 12 coaches, and where the 700 zeros, the RLU is 8 coaches. I think it's because the 700 coaches are different length to other standard units. You know, which is why they have their own special stop markers. Also going to start braking for St Mary Cray. So yeah, the 700 EP, a unit that was massively hyped because people wanted it, and I haven't seen that many scenarios for it. There were like a few when it came out, and they've kind of all just died. This is St Mary Cray. Passing to Mary Cray, next stop is Bickley in about 2 miles. The 700s, also known as Desirable Cities, were built by Siemens that entered service in 2014. I think it was mainly between Bedford and Brighton. And now, I think in 2016-ish, they completely took over the Thameslink network, which means now every single Thameslink train is a 700. The 319s went to Northern and the Midland, then West Midlands Railway. 377s went to South Eastern, and the 387s went to Great Northern. And it's also 60. I'm speeding. Line to the right went off towards Orpington and Sevenoaks, I think. Like I go to the right, joins up with a, I don't know what it's called, I think it's like the Southeastern Main Line, I think, to try and cross towards Orpington. Line joining from the left is from Orpington and Sevenoaks. And you can see Bickley just coming up in the distance, straight after the bridge. I think platforms at Bickley, they're kind of short. And by short, I mean they can't fit 12 coaches in them. So I think the station has an FLU sign, so a full length unit. Or I mean all. Yeah, because all is FLU and RLU, so if your train is fond of 8 coaches, you support all. If your train is fond of 12 coaches, you support all. You can tell it's all because it's in a blue diamond. It's in Bickley. Next stop is Bromley South, which is literally just coming up now. See, I think about the Chatham Main Line past Bickley. It's very stop-start, stop-start, kind of like the North London line, and to a certain extent, Chatham Moss. I guess Manchester in general, or like any highly populated urban area. So coming into Bromley South, aiming to stop at the end of the platform, at the all side. Okay, next stop is Shortlands, which is literally right around the corner. Yeah, good thing the sorry, good thing the 700 have really good brakes. I guess like most modern units, they have good brakes. Arrival into Shortlands. Departing Shortlands, next stop is Ravensbourne, which is literally right on the corner under this underpass. So along the top is the Chatham Main Line through Beckenham Hill to London Victoria via Kent House, and we're going towards Catford. So Ravensbourne is literally just up ahead. Yeah, the stations of the Catford Loop, they are very close together. So arrival into Ravensbourne. Departing Ravensbourne, next stop is Beckenham Hill. So 700 is not a unit that I know a massive amount about because I've never actually seen one. Last time I was in London was 2015. Actually, correction, I think the 700 entered service in 2016. Because last time I was in London was 2015 and I hadn't entered service yet. So you just have 319s, 277s and 387s on Thameslink trains. Arrival into Beckenham Hill. Okay, next stop is Bellingham, which is coming up right now. On the right are the carriage siding, used to store, I think it's Thameslink stuff, maybe some Southeastern stuff as well. So there's a 700 going to Sevenoaks probably. Yeah, I think on some days in 2019, Thameslink ran like 2 trains an hour between London Victoria and Sevenoaks via Catford and Swanley. Shit, stop! So yeah, before I kind of overshot the platform, what am I talking about? I don't remember. So yeah, Thameslink in 2019 used to run, I think it was like 2 trains per hour between London Victoria and Sevenoaks. I think it was to keep up driver route knowledge of the route into Victoria instead of going via Blackfriars to Bedford. You know, so it's kind of interesting to see like first capital connected Thameslink trains in Victoria instead of the usual route. Anyway, next stop is Catford. So aiming to stop at the RLU sign. Or I guess all. I don't think 701s come down here because the platforms are too short. Twice in Catford, speed limit went up to 50 miles an hour. Next stop is Coffin Park, which isn't too far away. So yeah, 700 scenarios, so they're not really being that popular, or have that many made. I guess people like kind of older stuff because you get to use liveries that you don't normally use, like Northern Spirit or Connects. So it's about to Crofton Park. Next stop is Nunhead, where we're trying to join the line from, I think it's Lewisham. We're joining the line from other things. Yeah, London, it is a giant mess. So going back to my point about scenarios, if you look at ATS at the moment, it is full of like retro stuff. Because on page 1 of ATS, you've got like a 158 on South Carlisle. You've got like North South East 265, you've got BR Blue stuff. You've got Intercity. Yeah, I think you do have like a mix of stuff. Because I think the last 700 scenario was released on April 1st, and it started the 9th. And I'm speeding. Again. And I guess there's also the argument of there's like a million different trades in TS and a million different routes. So there's just too much to do, too much variation. It's like if I wanted to do a scenario from Bedford to Brighton, I could do a 700, I could do it through a 9, I could do a 377. Also the time period, you could do like in the 90s, the thousands, the 10s, the 20s. So as I said, there's just a lot of variation about what you can do with scenarios. And also, speaking of the 90s, I've also found that I think it's 1994 to 2002 are also available on Network Rail's archive, but not under the Network Rail section. They're under the Velotrack section, which opens up even more variety in scenarios. So the potential for scenarios is pretty much limitless. This is Peckham Rye, changed for the Overground and Southern. Okay, for some strange reason, the doors didn't open. I mean, the doors did open, but it didn't actually acknowledge the pickup instruction for some reason. Weird. I don't know, maybe I stopped too far forward. I don't know. Transim is it's a weird bit of software. Anyway, next stop is Denmark Hill, which is coming up right now. Okay, next stop is London Victoria at about 4 miles. I've got a warning of 20 miles an hour as we get closer to Brixton. We'll be doing the Chatham main line that we left at Shortlands. Line to the right goes towards, or passes Loughborough Junction, through Elephant Castle to Blackfriars, then Thameslink Core to either, in 2019 it would have been towards Frisbee Park and the East Coast Main Line, or St Pancras and the Midland Main Line. On the right joins from Loughborough Junction and Elephant Castle, and line to the left will go up and over Brixton, which is used by the London Overground and freight. Actually, I don't think much freight actually comes on here, not much. I think the only freight is coming from like Don's Moor towards Wembley, which is either like a shed or a 92. Coming up in front of us is Brixton Station, served by stopping trains from London Victoria to Orpington via Kent House. And we join up with the solar lines that went over Brixton. Next station we'll pass through will be Clapham High Street, which is served only by overground trains from Clapham Junction / Battersea Park to Dalton Junction / Highway Newington. Oh yeah, the front it will die as we get closer to London. So yeah, just be warned, we might get like a PowerPoint presentation. Overground train going to somewhere on the overground. Probably Highbury. Next station will be Wandsworth Road. Which is coming up right now. Jesus, just walk across the track, don't you? Line to the left goes towards Battersea Park. Line going now to the left goes towards Clapham Junction. Line going downwards goes into Stuart's Line Depot. Up front, right in front of us is Battersea Park. Battersea Power Station, I should say. On to the right goes towards Waterloo that Eurostar used to use, up until 2007 when Eurostar trains transferred from Waterloo International to St Pancras International. Also, I think Southeastern very occasionally ran trains into Waterloo using that flyover. Lines joining from the left are from Stuart's Line Depot, and the four lines joining from the left are from Clapham Junction and the Brighton Main Line. Crossing over the River Thames. On the right is Griswold Shed, used by Thameslink and Southeastern to store, I guess, clean some of their stock. And around the corner will be London Victoria. There's a KZX train going to Gatwick, which at the moment Gatwick Express is currently suspended, probably because of COVID. Still, I wonder if there are any actual plans to reinstate Gatwick Express. Because at the moment the KZX services have been suspended for nearly 2 years. So this is London Victoria, change for Southern, Gatwick Express, Southeastern and Thameslink services. And I think on the underground it's the Victoria line, you know, the like blue one. I think there's other ones in like walking distance. So this is London Victoria. Thank you for watching this run from Swanley to Victoria. Subscribe for more interesting content, like the video if you're so inclined. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next video. So arriving into London Victoria.